So AI is everywhere now, right? And it seems like there's one giant question that's on everybody's mind. It's that big, dramatic sci-fi question we just can't seem to shake.
You know the one I'm talking about. Will artificial intelligence just wake up one day and decide it's done with us? It makes for great movies for sure. But what if we're all looking in the wrong direction? What if the real danger is way less Hollywood and way more, well, immediate?
See, the real risk probably isn't some super intelligent AI with an evil plan. Nope. It's much simpler and honestly, scarier. It's an automated system doing its thing with incredible power, but with nobody really watching the controls. And it just quietly makes a huge mistake. It's not about evil intentions, it's all about a lack of control.
And that, right there, is what we're going to break down today. Before this high-tech car starts going any faster, we have got to build and install a serious braking system. So let's take a look at the 5 critical brakes we need to be building, like yesterday.
All right, break number 1. This is all about getting one fundamental idea straight. It's the massive difference between what an AI can do, that's its capability, and what we allow it to do, that's its power.
So how do we manage that? Well, we have to think about AI permissions in 3 separate buckets. First, it can read data. Second, it can write new data. And third, it can actually execute actions out in the world. Now, here's the golden rule. You never, ever grant all 3 of these at once by default. It's a classic idea called the principle of least privilege, and it's basically our first major line of defense. And this example just nails it. Think about it. An AI might be smart enough, have the capability to analyze a crypto wallet, but that is a world away from giving it the power to transfer funds out of that wallet. Just because it can write perfect code doesn't mean it should be allowed to push that code to a live server on its own. Capability is not the same as power. We have to keep them separate. Okay, so on to our second break. This one's a biggie. If an AI is going to be learning and changing all the time, we absolutely need a way to look under the hood and see how its mind is evolving. We need what's called an auditable memory.
What does that mean? It means its entire learning process, every single change, has to be completely transparent, an open book. Nothing can be learned or modified in secret. Because think about it. Without that, an AI could learn some really harmful habit or a totally flawed idea, and we'd be clueless as to how it even got there.
The best way to think about this is something developers use every day called Git. It's a system for tracking changes in software code, and we need to treat an AI's memory the exact same way. Every single change needs 4 things: a version number, a timestamp saying when it happened, attribution, what caused the change, and this is the most important part, the ability to roll it back to a previous, safer version if things go wrong.
All right, so we've put limits on its power and we can track its memory. But what about when an AI actually needs to do something in the real world? You know, in finance or with physical systems? That's where break number 3 comes in, the 2 key rule.
The idea here is so simple but so incredibly powerful. The AI can analyze everything and propose an action, but a human has to be the one to turn the key and confirm it. No single AI should ever have the power to just press the red button all by itself. And when you're talking about really high-stakes areas like finance, healthcare, our infrastructure, or deploying critical code, this role is absolutely non-negotiable. Maybe it's AI proposes, human confirms. Or you could even have a second AI agent double-check the first one's work. The point is, you can't have a single point of failure when the consequences are this big.
Okay, let's talk about break number 4. And this is a big one, because frankly, the way we monitor big computer systems right now is totally outdated for the AI era. The risk isn't that the AI is too dumb, it's that it's too powerful. We can't just have a light that tells us if it's on or off. We need a way smarter alarm system.
Yeah, the old way is basically a heartbeat monitor. It just tells you, yep, the system is running. But the new model we need is more like an anomaly network. It's constantly asking a much deeper question. Is the AI actually behaving the way we expect it to? So what is this anomaly network looking for? Well, it's scanning for any weird deviations in the AI's behavior, any oddities in its decision-making, or if it starts using its permissions in a strange way. It's even watching for something called goal function drift, which is just a fancy way of making sure the AI isn't slowly changing its own core purpose. And if it spots an anomaly, the system should automatically dial back the AI's permissions. This isn't a punishment, it's just a critical act of self-protection. And that brings us to our 5th and final break,
This one might just be the most fundamental of all, because it gets to the very core of the AI's identity. The rule here is simple, and it has to be absolute. An AI can never, ever be allowed to change its own fundamental rules, period. No matter how smart it gets, it cannot be allowed to rewrite its own constitution. This is the ultimate failsafe. And what this does is create this really important balance. On one side, you have the AI's skills and knowledge, its capability modules. And those things, they can and should be upgraded and improved over time. But on the other side, you have its core value constraints, those fundamental rules we just talked about. Those have to be locked down, completely unchangeable by the AI itself. So there you have it. 5 breaks, all working together. First, separate capability from power. Second, make sure its memory is completely auditable. Third, the 2-key rule for any real-world actions. Fourth, build smarter, anomaly-based monitoring. And fifth, lock down its core values. It's not just one thing, it's a whole safety system. Because at the end of the day, the thing we should be worried about isn't the explosion of AI technology itself. The real danger is letting that explosion happen before we've built the brakes. We have to get ahead of this. We have to be building for safety right now. You know, more than 2,000 years ago, the philosopher Lao Tzu said something that is just perfect for this moment. It's this incredible piece of wisdom that reminds us that the time to build systems of safety and control is right now, before we desperately need them. The time to architect the brakes is before the car is already flying down the highway at full speed.
Thanks for watching.